Let's go, you know what it is. And overtime, every time, workout march with yours truly. Oh, you can see the shadow, yeah. Shadow boxing, let's go, Dragon versus Trump. Gotta commence with my gratitude. So I decided to establish on this 12th of November, Scorpio, a principle that during these seasons until April 8th or so, when those telemized, this wanna be telemized, we celebrate, you know what we celebrate, XYZ, that 93. Hey, rock and roll for the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, and I deviated a little bit. You're gonna have to press that rewind because it's a freestyle as we go. And I'm deciding to put a principle. If I don't reach the mountain by 3 o'clock, the mountain, my second home, Mount Royal, where we're heading now towards the east, I'm gonna turn around about and I'm gonna be going towards the sun because the sunset. That sunrise and sunsets every day, every second there's a sunrise and a sunset. Every second there's a sunrise and a sunset somewhere in the world. So I decided by principle, if I do not reach the mountain by 3 o'clock p.m. EST time, I'm going to roundabout turn exactly where I am, depending where I am. I'm just going to keep marching towards the sun. So that's a new principle. We got to work by principle of this pro-labor revolutionary centrist. Is that rock and roll 24/7 for the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, and I love to dance. And it's a Dragon versus Trump edition here from Montreal, Hawk Island, North America. What time it is? I think it is. Hey, maybe 3 o'clock in about 15 minutes, so we're going to clock it. In about 15 minutes, we're going to turn around about, and we're going to go towards the sun on that Lachine Canal. So that's a new principle which I just established now, you know. Sometimes we got to establish principles in the randomness and support the kingdom, the dancing goddess, and the dragon kingdom, which is fundamentally a call for a public private partnership. What, the little dog wearing that red, my favorite color, auctioning this scarf for $1 million, gonna give half, 50% to my anonymous friend, gonna get out of the way and gonna go rock and roll. Let's rock and roll a little bit because you know it is rock and roll 24/7 with this Aspie, got that Asperger's, HFA, high functioning autism, and I repeat things 2-3 times. So this is for Go Aspies, go Aspie World, go. I gotta give a shout out for Aspie World, the channel Aspie World has helped me tremendously in the past years. It's been like 45 months since I accepted that I have Asperger's HFA, so I got to work within those symptoms, and the symptoms that I have, of course, are repetitions, echolalia. Echolalia is a symptom of Asperger's, you know, echolalia, meaning that I will repeat some things 2-3 times what I might say, so that is the symptom of echolalia. Meaning echolalia is a symptom of Asperger's, and we got symptoms, and it's not a mental illness once again. It is a neurological, mental, developmental condition. It makes people with Asperger's like myself, also known as HFA, high-functioning autistics, prone to obsessive interest. And my holy trinity is geopolitics 24/7. To study the analysis of geopolitics, geopolitical, theoretical analysis, and of course fitness. Dancing is my favorite sport, you know. Dancing is my favorite sport. Dancing is my favorite sport. Geopolitics, dancing, fitness, along with that parallel, rock and roll. So that Trinity. I always got to turn my head left and right when you cross the street, and I got to salute and got to give some salutations there because you never know, of course. And poodles, I love poodles because I can pet poodles. The other dogs kind of give me some allergic allergies. I just get a little bit of irritation for the nose if they get too close a certain distance. But poodles like that one, I love petting. I can pet without getting sort of allergic reaction to certain breeds of dogs that have the thick, long kind of fur. So I gotta put a little bit of those gloves on. It's getting on that chilly side, gonna drop tonight. Halves one, 7-5. And so again, somebody, we got a good win last night, eh? He said, yeah, good win last night. He nodded the head, and he was wearing the Habs hat. He smiled on my Habs hat, and he was wearing the Habs hat also here in Montreal, Hawk Island, HEWK. And he nodded, said, yeah, thumbs up. Yeah, we did a victory, 7-5. Hard-won victory, though. So that's what we got to get doing with that. So saluting my brothers and sisters, northeast, west, south, you know. On this special occasion, the geopolitical events, of course, today, that, of course, I'm going to analyze is the re-election of Donald Trump, the Donald Trump mandate again, going to come in that inauguration in January. all things considered, I don't know, the legal cases, whatever have you, and all things considered parallel, you know, is something, of course, is essential. And you know that I would have voted Kamala. I would have definitely voted Kamala, and I have my initiatives, protocols, and initiatives as a philosopher, geopolitical theoretical analyst, which of course I am calling for their implementation around about the collective North American civilization. And this Quebecer Canadian was born in the USA 3 times, once as a woman, twice as a man, 156 years apart in the same army, served in the United States forces, 2 different wars, 156 years apart. You just got to read that. George Patton, 3 Glass Darkness. So once that's 3 o'clock, we're going to hit it up roundabout and go marching towards the sun, my Pope the King. And always grateful, thankful for my rent paid, electricity bills paid. And got to send some love to the firefighters, LOV to the firefighters, LOV to the butchers, the nurses, the cooks, those who picked up the garbage yesterday, garbage collectors. Please, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, please give them a 44.9 gift. Reduce the cost of the tickets, 44.9, 44.9%, 44.9%. Reduce the cost of the tickets by 44.9%. That is the reduction that we're gonna be needed to do, and that's just what we're gonna need to do, of course, you know. So we gotta get it on the go, get it on the go, get it on the go. So that's what it is with that, you know. We gotta get it on the do, and we gotta get that going and doing, you know. Super important, you know. So it is yours truly, something which we gotta analyze, and because my analysis, my economic analysis, is that the prices of the tickets, the cost, general costs overall, should be reduced by 44.9%. 44.9%, 44.9%, 44.9%. That's 44.9%. My estimation of the prices have increased concording to what the majority of the prices of the food, goods, and the rents since COVID. And COVID in 2020, February, March. And I had COVID, you know, I had it in 2020. Back in February, March, it was like death, pestilence, and disease, death, pestilence, and disease, death, pestilence, and disease. On my knees, rock and roll, please. I know that sounds like a rock and roll, hard death metal song, you know, and it's death metal kind of sound to it, but that's how I felt, because I died in many ways. I died on the island. I'm being reborn on the island, and I lived several times on the island itself. And bury me with Papa Crowley. A third of me up in New Jersey, a third of me up in Mount Royal, my second home, a third of me up in the city of the pyramids. The pyramids, those temples and tombs remain. They're also temples, the pyramids there. I was there in a past life, scribe, and a priestess. Yes, I said priestess. You get that 50-50 now, Adrian Hanna Dragon rebirthing and laying the foundations with 718 trillions of kisses. Kisses I got by the plenty. Anybody want a kiss? I got 718 trillions of kisses. That's a lot of kisses. Kisses, that's all the money in the world, but don't be so selfishly for somebody else. Don't be so selfish. I'm not totally perfect. Far from it, gotta salute. And you know, the king is absent. As I see the Canadian flag, I gotta say that I love me some of that red and white. And I got Canada tattooed there. You can't see because of my jacket, but I don't know. Don't ask me how I got it, because of that retrograde amnesia and my trauma that kind of have blackouts and of memory. You know, I just remember 7-8 years ago, moved from a moldy place, and started working out, training, exercising, and fitness, and across Canada 7 years ago. Across Canada 7 years ago, coast to coast. And that event in my life made me come out of being depressed and suicidal. When I crossed Canada coast to coast 7 years ago, September and August, and that event in my life changed my whole life. And I established a strong esprit de corps, my fellow Quebecer Canadians. And now our family pledge your allegiance, that's the rock and roll song 24/7. And always thinking now in the terms of geopolitics, of course, as I'm on the march. You have to understand the mind of an Aspie, and I refer you to the Aspie World Channel. I wish I could give a little bit of finance, a little bit of money. I'm financially stressed myself, but Aspie World is a great channel, so I gotta give a shout out, you know. Also shout out to Draconic Priestess on spiritual matters, you know. And of course all my fellow, the third one will be all my fellow online telemites, non-sectarian, want to be like yours too. And so many things I don't know, gonna turn my head left and right, because I do know that sometimes the brakes malfunction, the citizen driver might press the accelerator instead of the brake. So these are all things which can occur in the daily circumstances of life. You know, they can occur. And you always got to turn your head left and right. Even there's a stop sign, I do recommend turning your heads left and right 3 times, left, right, because what if there's a solar flare knocking on all those satellites with a solar flare, the Publik King there, and say, hey, I'm not keeping laws, and we got to get a little bit of better as people. Did we learn, you know. Nothing that I want to go back to, you know, and I play that defense on my call for the North American Defense Initiative, the Hawk Project, Hawk Project, Hawk Project, Hawk Project, the project of the Hawk, H-A-W-K, the project of the Hawk, North American Hawk with the Operation Scorpio, parallel up and down. So on the ground, Northern Scorpio, Northern Scorpio, Northern Scorpio, Northern Scorpio, the Northern Scorpio, the Northern Scorpio. That's the operation, of course, which you gotta get doing. The Northern Scorpio is one type of scorpion, which goes Quebec, Canada, Mexico, Canada, US, all North America. It's called the Northern Scorpion. The Northern Scorpion. Yeah, the Northern Scorpion. And my operation Northern Scorpion is inspired by several protocols and initiatives, only strictly merely for defense security service. As a philosopher centrist, that's what I'm calling for and advocating for. And of course, I've been advocating during COVID and my survival. And I listen to the birds a little bit. They're happy, I'm happy. The children are happy, I'm happy. And gotta send some love to the firefighters, some love to the truckers. Those in the daycares, changing some of those smelly diapers. Gotta wash and clean, and gotta wash and clean. And those picking up the garbage, they're also athletes, man. It's not all about Wall Street. How about giving some charity, finance somebody else a massage therapy session? The nurses, those who pick up the garbage, a massage therapy session. I have been complaining I cannot afford a massage therapy session all during COVID since my fitness journey began. And there's just somebody there with a carrier, so I'm just gonna go on the side so I'm gonna be patient, and so I don't want to interfere, to have enough space and be as secure passage as I can, because I'm in the public. In the public, I got added responsibilities, duties, and obligations, and I'm going to do exactly like this fellow senior citizen did, and just go around and speed it up a little bit, and just going to go see it. That's the future. So that's why we're defending, first and foremost, Canadian Armed Forces with LOV, I say. That's why we're defending first and foremost. Here, turn your head left or right, left or right, left or right. Turn your head left or right, left or right. Those are the little munchkins we're defending. Those are the ones. The youth, saluting the youth. And if I were to be, I always say, I'll be the first one to join and knock at the Canadian, and even my brothers and sisters in the USA, if there's an invasion from outside of the Atlantic, which is the East, and the Pacific Ocean outside the West, I'll be more than glad to join. Join, but also, of course, not, of course, only for defense. Like I said, only for defense. We're gonna take a little bit of that alley, and it's Dragon versus Storm. Let's do some push-ups here and there. How about some squats? I get this. We can do a little bit of squats here and there, I guess, whereas in the park better, because here's a little bit more private, and no trouble. But with Asperger's, I'm weird. Aspies were weirdos, eh? And we're a tiny minority of less than half of a percentile, less than 1%, less than half of a percentage are Aspies, have Asperger's. So 0.44% across the world. So that is a tiny minority, and being an Aspie, LGBTQ, rainbow, play that black and white and rainbow, singing as you go for the firefighters, truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, carpenters, electricians, the plumbers, those Hydro-Quebec workers. Imagine the collective North American civilization. Our electricity from Hydro-Quebec goes to 5 or 6 states, all the way, of course, to the Manhattan Island. Buying, selling, trading future stocks. Please, millionaires, billionaires, give some charity. If I wouldn't have a billionaires, just give now. I said I would have, after Trump got elected on November 6th, if I would have had 44 billions, I would have taken 10% of that 44 and just go incognito, hoodie with a hoodie on, incognito, humble incognito, and I would have donated 50,000 Canadian, 44,718 US to random stranger homeless. Said, this is your second chance, this is my redemption. If you have addictions, try to get off it. This is, you can rent an apartment for 3 years. 3 years you can survive on 50,000, and this is your second chance. Clean yourself up, start working out, training, exercising, because I got my second chance, and nothing that I want to go back to. I'm rebuilding. Of course, something that, of course, I gotta say in a certain manner and parallel, that of course I have a lot of scars and trauma, but I survived a lot. I just don't remember my life. I have problems, difficulties accessing early memories from before the island, my life. And I know I have a high school diploma from 2003, so I graduated high school. I have some references, and so as I wanted to go to Kingston Military College, but down that matter of me being a philosopher, an aspie philosopher, and theoretical, geopolitical, theoretical analyst, and theorist, and artist, and athlete, independent. You know, I gotta say that the protocol's gotta be initiated for defense of the collective North American complex of North America. Let's go NORAD, and with that NATO, we gotta get that coast to coast, ocean to ocean. Then we gotta get that coast to coast, ocean to ocean. Turn your heads left and right when you cross the streets, and gotta admire the sky sometimes, how big and blue and beautiful. And now we're gonna go through the park on the side here, and we're gonna go rock and roll, because I think should be about 3 o'clock exactly in 1 minute 44 seconds. So gonna say my gratitude again. Grateful, thankful my rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. Grateful, thankful my rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. And, you know, I'm driving these shoes, auctioning these shoes. You know, auction them for $1 million. Gonna give 50% half to my anonymous friend. If I make $1 billion a trillion, but if I would have said, like I said before, that if I would have had 44 billion, it would have no way that I would have taken 10%. 10% would have been 4.4 billion. $1 billion is 1,000 million. So $1 billion is 1,000 million. That's what $1 billion is. That's what $1 billion is. $1 billion is 1,000 million. Let's go for the public workers. For the public workers there, we're gonna get it for the drill, and they're gonna get it for that, and all the public workers, they put up the. Vous avez mis l'aréna, vous l'avez vient de finir? Ah, bon travail, bye. Yeah, they finished the hockey ring there. So I've been saying for like a few years that if you bring me some of those tools, the paint, I want to paint it red and blue, and I would have wanted to paint it Quebec flag, Canadian flag, US flag, North America, you know, North America. Please, NHL, National Hockey League, reduce the cost by 44.9%, and that's what we got to get doing with that drill. So I would have loved, of course, to paint, you know. It's kind of bleak, I don't know. It's kind of bleak. Just put a little bit of color, like that, and we got to get it on the drill, you know. That's what I would have loved it to do, a little paint, man. Paint job. Just paint it all, you know. Paint it all. Anyways, here you got a nice, I got to show a little bit, show off a little bit. I gotta love this one. It's one of the best in Montreal, so I'm just gonna give a shout out. Shout out to those who build this. It's only in French, but what it says, of course, is for dog park. There's the rules of conduct. There must be English somewhere, but I don't mind putting the translation, you know. But this is a nice dog park. This is one of the best dog parks in Montreal. It's big, and there's a lot of places where you can go, and you can play there, and that's what matters at the end of the day. The children are happy, I'm happy, man. That's what matters. They're innocent, you know. And I would defend them coast to coast, ocean to ocean, you know, to their defense and the defense of my fellow Canadians, only and solely Operation Dracula style, but only for defense. I'm going a little bit of horror. No, I don't like horror movies, and I don't like violence. I do not like violence. I am intense, sporty, intense. Aggression, I channel it. Intensity, I channel it. I work out, train, exercise, and I am hyper vigilant because I've been attacked by surprise a few years, several times actually. That I flashes of attack. I fell. I hit my head. Had a dislocated shoulder. Hey, you got a little bit on that. Good on you. Getting some more food so you can survive, aren't you? Beautiful, and you know I love you. Yeah, you're looking at me, but I ain't got nothing to give you, because Mother Nature provides for you. I'm just gonna send you a little love, a little hug, a little kissy. There we go. So XYZ, that's what it is. But XYZ here in Montreal, Hawk Island, Montreal, we gotta go get it. So, like I said, I do not like violence, but I survived my own being attacked by surprise attack, flashes, and I got scars. You know, I discuss my scars openly. Yeah, I even have scars on my androgynous clit dick, but hey, you know, sometimes gets that goddess, yes, say goddess blessed, healed, goddess heals, sun shines, horse strengthens, set purified, vice versa, set strengthens, horse purified, vice versa, horse strengthens, set purifies, vice versa. And sometimes getting on that rocket, you know, but nonetheless, my scars aside, on the face, on the body, and a lot of scars, and I survived a lot of things. Survive COVID, survive being depressed, survive surprise attack, and here I am, you know. Joyous but financially stressed, auctioning this, offering massages, kisses, tickles, rock and roll, poetry, feet washing for the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, the butchers, the nurses, those in the warehouses. How's that port strike? Collective North American, the North American Collective Workers Party. Let's get on that rock and roll. The North American Collective Party, I say, let's get on that rock and roll. The North American Collective Workers Party, I say, we gotta get on that rock and roll. You know, the North American Collective Workers Party, so we gotta get on that rock and roll. And I just gotta do a little bit of drop here. Just gonna drop a little bit of garbage. Thank you, garbage collectors. I've been holding up to this garbage. Gonna thank the garbage. We're gonna pick up the public sanitation. Thank you, their athletes. Please give them some of those tickets so they can see, tickets, so they can see a little bit of tickets. NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA. Please give them some tickets to go see some sports here in Montreal. 2.5 million people. We're gonna go circumvent it, and we're gonna go by this building, which I don't know what's happening with the building, but it should have been a little bit of done with it, because triggers memories of past lives. I was on the island in the past 7+ years, especially when I go on Mount Royal. I have flashes of reincarnation. Sometimes I was born a man, sometimes I was born a woman, sometimes I'm 50-50. Today you get that androgynous, not perfect, far from me, but I gotta get a little bit of that rock and roll. But grateful, thankful, and open for business, hyper vigilant, because I played that defense like that hardball ball, you know, like that hard. Like I'm defending Brady and Purdy in the Super Bowl, my own body, and all my allies and armies pledge your allegiance. If I can LOV, somebody gonna make love today. Otherwise, what are we fighting for? Or somebody gonna hug like you never hugged before with consent is the main message. The main message is hug like you never hugged before with consent. So anyways, this is the building that triggers memories in the past life, and you see the priestess of the goddess there, you know, goddess. And I'm gonna just go around about it, clock it in over there, and then go by the side parallels, and we're gonna go towards the sun. We're just gonna drive it towards the sun now because it's 3 o'clock. So now I'm going south, and I can see it over there because it's blocked on the other side, but I can see that it's my passage. So now the camera is pointing east. Now the camera is pointing west, and in the back of me is the north. So that's where I'm heading now, south. And I'm gonna go towards where the sun is, and then we're gonna clock it in on the side, and see, of course, going all the way south, and then we're gonna clock it in towards the west and go around about it and do some push-ups here and there, do some squats here and there. And I got the backpack on. I got the 4 pounds, I would say 44 pounds, about 44 pounds. It's got about 44 pounds because I got a football in it. I got gloves in it. I got water in it. I got gloves. Thank you to the gloves donation. It is a Dragon versus Trump event. Still needing that money to officially change my name, because you know how it is. It costs. Gotta get that legal, but got trillions of kisses, millions of marching steps, push-ups, hawk squats, and dancing moves. And I'm always grateful, always meditating, imagining now, because that's how my Aspies we usually function. I speak as myself as an individual Aspie, part of the collective community known as people with HFA, high functioning autistics, aka Asperger's. How we function, how we develop, how we see the world, how our brain works is in when we're interacting, when we're doing whatever we're doing. It's usually our obsessive interest at play 24/7 with me. 24/7 to study the analysis of geopolitics, and I am an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, and theoretical analyst or geopolitical theorist and analyst, however you want to interplay that. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's that it is. I do geopolitical theory and I do geopolitical analysis 24/7, parallel, of course, with Sports. Dancing is my favorite sport. Dancing is my favorite sport. Dancing is my favorite sport. And of course, rock and roll. Dancing is my favorite sport and rock and roll. So now you see this énergie here, entretien du réseau. So that's unité d'intervention. So we got, of course, not only Hydro-Quebec water, but we got some natural gas. So how my mind works is now I put it in a geopolitical context of the North American complex, the integrated North American collective for the North American, because I am a North American Quebecer Canadian. Personally, I do not consider myself a member of a diaspora. This is my home, and I put that interjected in interplay of how, of course, best to defend in case of an emergency scenario, a possible invasion, or other such matter where certain groups and activities, criminal activities, nefast activities would be financed by an external group outside of the North American collective, outside of the North American collective sphere. Outside of the North American collective sphere. So I thank my fellow citizen there for saying a little bit of hello, and he's doing a little bit of that recycling and getting a little bit of money. So he was nice by saying a little bit of hello with that. So that's what it is. As I go towards the sun, go to get on the sunset and sunrise every second, and very nice and good smile. I interact with fellow citizens. Sometimes I remember them from the past during COVID 7 years, but you have to remind me sometimes, because if I know you from the past, more than 7, 8, 9 years of memory loss and all that, I have a good memory for the past events. And things as language and mathematics are not registered. Things of language and mathematics are not registered. Are registered on the sun, my boat. So memory loss, linguistic abilities, mathematical abilities, things like of that nature are not affected by retrograde amnesia, by memory loss, but there are things. So anyway, back to the Dragon versus Trump. It's Dragon versus Trump marching towards the sun, and we're gonna do some squats right here after the dog passes. We're gonna circumvent, and such a nice day today. Really nice day. So that's why we're gonna go doing a little bit of squats here and there, and feel like doing some push-ups even, as we go all the way to the sun. On the marching steps, feels good. Feels so good to get a little bit of sun rays. So that's what I'm putting the new principle. Gotta watch for the car. Oh, that's a one-way, see. That's a one-way. So in theory, they can only come from that side. Here's best if I do a little bit of push-ups. Let's see if I can do some squats here. Somebody wrote auntie there. I'm making love to my auntie with that rainbow flag you see. Or I say to my auntie to make love, something like that. Another song, making love to my auntie. I guess. I know, I'm just gonna put it there and do some squats. Always good to do a little bit of squats. Let's say LOV squats. LOV, SQATS, LOV. LOV, squats. LOV on those squats. Oh yeah, that felt good. Always felt good to do a little bit of squats here and there. And I just love fitness. I'm obsessed about fitness. I'm a fitness junkie. But of course, it's one of my obsessive interests. Although my love is, of course, dancing. Dancing is my favorite sport. I can dance for hours on any type of music. Rock and roll, rap, rock and roll, jazz. And that's what it is with that. And getting me some of that good hydration, good, of course, XYZ. And that's what we gotta get doing. We gotta get that North American unite. I gotta give some LOV to my black brothers and sisters, blacks of North America, 13.3% of the population. I gotta put on the table, same thing, kisses and hugs, because sometimes we have in us, we have certain, sometimes it's subconscious, sometimes it's subconscious feelings, whatever experiences we have with certain individuals, we might associate that, like myself, an an individual, part of the Collective North America, part of the Collective North America. I'm still an individual Aspie. I cannot really pronounce myself for the whole Asperger's HFA community, but I own the general symptoms such as echolalia, repetition, obsessive interest, whatever have you call yourself. That it is what it is with now. So I gotta take a call now. I just gotta take a call. Just let me see if I can pause it and take a call, see how it's gonna work, and if not, gonna do that part 2. Let me see on that drill because it might be important. Let's see.